What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another F124 My Team Career Mode video. Today, round 22 around Las Vegas. If you're a big gambler, you'll already know a lot about Vegas, but we're going to try and gamble today, maybe on strategy, maybe on the setup of the car. But either way, we're going out here to win, as everybody is in Vegas as we start Q1, braking hard at the 100-meter board as we tip it into the first corner, try and get the power down without stepping out the back end of the car. Try and get your line right, as I really haven't done this time, as I go very deep and almost hit the wall on the outside there just as we open up the DRS. It's a very sketchy start to Q1. That could have been, well, weekend ending, frankly, right there on the second corner of Q1. Now this corner here, I absolutely hate. I despise it. It can get in the bin, and the fact that you have a giant globe of light in your eyes as you're sort of halfway through that chicane is not off-putting in the slightest. But we did okay. We've got a lot of battery to use, which I'm obviously saving for the strip, which is coming up in just a moment. But there's a horrendous bump in the track that we went over just at that moment before. I'll tell you where it is exactly in the next lap that we do. But again, hot lap activated. Getting the DRS open in just a second, right there. Burn the battery. You've got it all. Go down the strip. You don't even have to look at the landmarks. They would just be an absolute blur. I think we're topping out around 215, 216 miles an hour down the strip, which is very good performance. We've got a new engine in the car. Well, I say new, relatively fresh engine, like 5% worn on most of the parts. But that lap is going to sit as P4, and we had a little bit of a mistake during part of that lap. But here we go, Q2, nice and easy. Once we hit P4 with our first lap in Q1, I just knew there's no way, as we have a bit of a moment on the exit there, and again, running in a little bit deep just before we opened up the DRS, but we had a better line this time as we now run down the first DRS zone, first straight really of the circuit, and tip the car in nicely. Get as close to the barrier as you dare, but not too close, otherwise you will be missing a wheel. And again, this corner, we get a bit better this time, much closer to that first apex than we have done before, and now it's all about trying not to use the battery. We still want a nice exit. We don't want to use all of it, as I was trying to remind myself in the past there. Don't use all your battery. There's a bump just there, and it really does slow your car down as you go into that braking zone. Foreshadowing. But anyway, what we're going to do now, down the strip, we're going to again just keep the car straight as possible. Try not to use the tyres to grip left or right. We don't want any lateral movement as much as we can before we hit the braking zone hard there. Again, just before the 100-meter boards, I was really daring in qualifying to nail that, as we're pretty much the highest speed that you'll probably find on the F1 calendar down that strip. It is extremely long, but here we go across the line for Q2, P1 as well. And if you want to be P1 in my heart, you can click subscribe down below. That's the quickest way to my heart, is a subscription to get all the updates of my videos when they release. And a shameless plug later, where again we're doing a bit better with that line. I don't know if it's changing up a gear to 6th, maybe he's making it better, turning the wheel a bit more and just scrubbing the tyres a bit too much. I have no idea, but we got it right, and we're going to try and replicate that as we keep going in this Q3 run here. Again, a little bit of a lock on the left front as we go massively deep, but it's not too bad because we can keep close to that inside apex of the second part of the chicane. And again, we've got a lot of battery. You know what we're going to do, as again, try and stay close to the walls on the left hand side. If you don't, there's a massive bump, and pick your braking point nicely. Put the power down as much as you dare on exit without trying to spin out the rear, and then it's just sit back, relax, enjoy the landmarks, grab a drink. We're going to be here for a while down this long back straight. Open up the DRS, pretty much halfway down the straight, to be honest, and it still feels like an absolute age to get to the other end. Again, spot your braking point, just about 100 meters. Tip the car in. Don't be scared to hit that curb just a little bit. You don't want to mount it too much because you will go flying, but a little bit is quite nice, just to give you a little bit extra lap time and make the corner a little bit wider for yourself. And we're going to go across the line for our first lap. P2 splitting the Ferraris of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, but that's not enough for us. We want this pole position. I think it's actually going to be our first pole position if we can manage it of the season. A 10th picked up in the first corner alone. A 10th and a half, 2 tenths almost picked up in the second corner. We're burning a bit more of the battery than maybe I'd like at the moment, but we're doing well for this first part of the lap. That's the corner cut that we were looking for. In the other qualifying sessions, in the other laps, we've got purple, sector 1. Charles Leclerc sets an even faster time on the board. A 1:30.6, I think it was. I'm not sure. That's 2 tenths faster than what we were doing in our previous lap, but we are almost half a second up now on our previous time, so surely we've got this pole position in the bag, as we're, again, a little bit less battery again than last time to get down the strip at full pace, but what can we do to make up the difference? We're 7.5 tenths. Surely this is the lap. Surely, if I did see it right, if it was a 1:30.6 by Charles Leclerc to take pole, it was. A 1:30.641 is the pole time to beat. We have 8 tenths in pocket. We're looking right now as if we cross the line, we will have pole position, but it all comes down to this last sector. We hit the curb nicely, take a lot of curb as well on the exit. We've done all we can. We don't have much battery. We've lost a couple of tenths actually. There's 5 tenths in pocket. We're losing time everywhere, and it's because we've got no battery. But when we cross the line, where will we start? Sunday's Grand Prix around Las Vegas, which is going to happen right now. Now, interesting thing about Las Vegas, the inaugural race of this specific circuit where we use the strip was actually first held in 2023, November 18th, which was also the first Grand Prix in 40 years that was held on a Saturday and not a Sunday. But there we go, here's a view of the track. 17 turns, 6.2 kilometers of, well, just landmarks, left, right and center. But based on yesterday's qualifying, who got pole? We did, by 1.8 tenths. 1.8 tenths? Almost 2 tenths. Charles Leclerc claiming P2 on the grid, followed by Perez and Alonso. Then the second Red Bull of Max Verstappen and Ocon making a very surprise top 10 appearance. Norris and Piastri follow them. And then Bottas, Russell, Hamilton, Sainz, Gasly and Hülkenberg, Alexander Albon, Zhou Guanyu, Kevin Magnussen and Daniel Ricciardo. Lance Stroll and Sargent fill up the penultimate row of the grid, followed by Pourchaire and Tsunoda, who has a penalty for this race. But now is the time. We've set the grid. It's time to decide our strategy for this race. It's looking like a medium hard or a combination of those tyres. And I think because we have the luxury of starting on pole and we have the we have cars behind us anyway, we're taking a chance, I think. We're not going to go soft, surely. We're going to go hard medium. It's the alternative strategy, but I want to kind of let Leclerc go maybe, or hold him up as much as possible. Let my tyres do the work, get a bit of a gap so I can overcut and then run away with the race. But here we go. The lights are out and we are underway for the Vegas Grand Prix as we have all the wheel spin in the world. Charles Leclerc gets up the inside as we're trying to hold it around the outside, but there's no chance of us competing with those medium tyres. Just look at the grip he has through the second turn. He has all the grip in the world, but we have all of the battery and all of the straight line speed that comes with our engine power, as we're now just going to think about sending it down the inside very hard into turn 3. The back end lock very close to spinning as we lock the rear tyres, and now Charles Leclerc's thinking about going down the inside, and he's very aggressive with that there, but he's not got the commitment to cut us off fully on that second apex, so we take the position back. A very, very tough fight there in the end for us against Charles Leclerc, and we're leading by the end of lap 1, which is exactly what we wanted. We have control of the race. The rear's wanting to lock again, but DRS is enabled, and we're not going to get away from Charles Leclerc that easily in the Ferrari. And now you can see we go a little bit deep. We don't quite have the grip on these hards that we were wanting. We haven't been able to do any practice. We do cut him off slightly. You could say we're giving him the slipstream, but we're really just protecting our position at all costs. And yeah, there's no way we're going to get away from the Ferrari, the prancing horse of Charles Leclerc in any part of this first stint, I don't think. The hards, they just don't have the grip at all compared to any of the cars. There's a whole train, looks like it goes down to the very back of the grid, and it's courtesy of yours truly holding up the field and again defending like a lion as we go massively deep. We almost hit the outside wall there. Charles Leclerc's all over the back of us now. So we're going to deploy the battery and try and just stay ahead of the Ferrari. But now there's DRS enabled, and look how close Charles Leclerc is, not even a tenth behind us. He's so close to pretty much examining, yeah, that's the word, examining our gearbox, but there's just nothing doing for him. He just can't outpace us with the battery and the engine that we have. There's nothing he can do, so we're knocking about against the walls, just trying to maximize every inch of the circuit. We don't have the tyres to fight this, but we can use the circuit against Charles Leclerc. And here he comes now with the DRS wide open down the long back straight of the strip. But we have the battery, and we're going to go to the outside, brake really late, give him the space on the inside, and then claim the chicane that follows. And it's a very, very hard-fought battle. But again, there's not much they can do against our straight line speed. We set up for this strip. We set up for this long straight so we can make overtakes if we needed to. And also we can defend from the DRS. But look, Charles Leclerc's really coming for it now. He's decided he's using all his battery as well. And we're going to just sit behind him. We've got the DRS now, as the DRS detection is about a third of the way down the strip. And look how quickly we just fly away from the Ferrari. The prancing horse is prancing away in my mirrors as we drive off down through the Las Vegas streets. And again, a little bit of battery deployment. Thinking about trying to get away from him, but there's no way we can get away. We can hold him back, but how long can we hold him back for? Lap 5 of 18, we're a quarter of the way through the race. As we have a massive lockup, we do somehow manage to correct it and stay within the track limits of that chicane. And my voice was going there because I saw in the future our tyre coming off, and now courtesy of the hard tyre grip, we had a massive amount of wheel spin and we almost spun around. Thanks to the bump though on that corner, we stay ahead of Charles Leclerc for now, but we leave him room on the exit because we have to. He was there alongside us, and now Max Verstappen is wanting a quick sniff, and so's Fernando Alonso. Even, do I dare say Sergio Perez? Are we going to be 5 wide? Going down the strip, not quite. There's Fernando Alonso almost coming into the side of us there as we get the DRS on Charles Leclerc. Now Max Verstappen is taking the lead, and now we're going to come back through, and Fernando Alonso and Sergio Perez are fighting Charles Leclerc for that P3 spot. What a crazy strip that was. And Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen are actually fighting each other now for the second place position on the road, but Verstappen, maybe team orders, maybe not. Might have just been track position that Verstappen was able to defend and use against Perez in the second Red Bull. But Charles Leclerc has disappeared off. He's not even in the top 5 anymore, but Max Verstappen's really wanting to get past. We do have to leave him some space. We don't want to cut off his front wing or our front wing, or either, to be honest with you. We don't want to be blamed at all for causing a safety car around here, especially when we're on the hards, and this is not the ideal time for a safety car for us. Again, that bump helping us out, but we go massively deep as Max Verstappen gets the switch back on us. Now Sergio Perez is on our left. Esteban Ocon is not far behind. Verstappen, being smart, he's giving his teammate some slipstream, who's side by side with us now, you can see. But we get the DRS open, and we're both going to draw side by side with Verstappen down the strip, almost in formation here. If only we had a Red Bull livery as well, it would make that even more of a picture. But we successfully defend that again, somehow. Our tyres are not enjoying this at all, but I bet those mediums are not having much of a better time. As again, now we can just use a bit of battery just to pull away a little bit. Again, there you go, he's got the DRS, we just use the battery. We have the best engine in the whole grid. Even our teammate has probably not put a fresh engine in the back of his car. We have, and it's paying dividends. We are getting our money's worth, absolutely. As now lap 8, Verstappen and Perez, Ocon and Alonso have dropped back ever so slightly. Their tyres must be absolutely screaming for a pit stop, and we're just walking away at this point. We've been burning our battery purely to try and get away from these guys. We don't really want them to undercut us, but we can surely have the pace to overcut. And as you can see in the top left, a few people have pit just now onto the hard tyres from the mediums. We're going to pit in a couple of laps time for the medium from the hards. And I think this is the time. Verstappen 16.9 seconds behind as we come into the pits very cautiously, but I'd rather be cautious than risk a penalty at this moment of the race. Verstappen followed closely by Alonso, then Leclerc and Ocon are surely going to come past us while we're in the pits, changing our tyres. It's a little bit of a slow stop, but it's not all doom and gloom. We can see Verstappen and Alonso just up ahead, as now we've got Charles Leclerc all over the back of us as well. His tyres are nice and warm, and he's got the DRS. We have no battery because we tried to use it on our in-lap. What can we do against such reckless hate? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But even with the DRS, Charles Leclerc is not getting away from us. We have slipstream. That's it. That's the only thing we have. So we're going to send it potentially down the outside, do a switchback. No, nothing quite doing there. But we know now, if we have DRS, we are absolutely untouchable. Absolutely untouchable. We could stay with the Ferrari. He had DRS. We didn't. And that is what I was looking for. The strip is so long, you could easily make a few overtakes if you have the right setups. We almost, again, have a little smooch with the wall. We almost have a little kiss there, but we didn't. Are we going to look to the inside on Charles Leclerc? No, we're going to go to the outside this time. Hold it tight, give him room on the apex, but now we have the job done. Around the outside of turn 3. And now, again, it's just about trying to get back up to those top 2. 6 laps remaining here in Las Vegas, and 2 seconds, 2.3 seconds separate P1 and ourselves. Well, P2 and ourselves is 2.6 to Alonso, but hopefully they're going to have a bit of a fight, have a bit of a ding-dong at the end of the straight, and that will invite us in a little bit more. We don't have too much battery to play with. We've got Charles Leclerc just behind us, who's going to have DRS, but again, he wasn't getting away when he had DRS, but he can catch up to us when he does, because he must definitely be using all the battery in the world, but we're going to use ours in attack. Again, he attacked us, we let it happen, and then we used our battery, sort of in defense, but actually attack at this point, just to get the position back. And now, thanks to Alonso and Verstappen having a bit of a ding-dong, as I predicted, we're now in DRS distance of the leaders. Lap 13 of 18. Can we do it? Can we go from pole position to take the win? We're going to find out very soon, as Verstappen is very close to the rear end of that Aston Martin, who's been performing well. And Esteban Ocon in the top left is still in the top 5, which is extremely noteworthy of the young Frenchman there, as we easily just breezed past Verstappen there. There was no defense almost. It's almost like he was breaking down the amount of speed that we had over the Red Bull, which is extremely surprising, but again, I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. There's no argument from me. Verstappen, just put the brakes on a little bit if you want to, mate. You can just hang out behind me. I'll give you DRS, no problem. We'll catch Alonso. But now, we're in the DRS of the Aston Martin. Again, just drifting slowly up to him. No battery yet. And there we go. There's a bit of the battery just to secure the overtake. Simple, really. It's elementary, my dear Watson. But we're doing good. We've got Alonso for company, though. we do have to be careful. We've been saving all the battery in the world just for this moment. Again, Alonso's really catching us actually with the DRS. That Aston Martin clearly has a bit of a stronger engine in the back, or maybe a lower downforce setup, but with a little bit of battery deployment we can absolutely hold him off. We can keep him at bay. Their tyres are going to be better than ours at this point. Maybe not faster, but there or thereabouts. They're going to have some pace on us, especially with the DRS, but it's the final lap. We have two DRS zones to defend, and very worn out tyres as we have a massive snap into turn 2, and that was not at all planned. That was very scary. On the very last lap of a long race, we almost just binned it in the wall, which, I mean, it would be the first time in this career mode, but we go massively deep and Alonso just comes swooping around the outside and we can't do anything there. He just pinned us to the apex and just stole that position from us. But now I'm even more confident. Somehow that mistake has left us essentially with the chance of the win, because now Fernando Alonso has no DRS. He probably has battery to burn, but so do we. And now it's just a case of, can we catch the Aston Martin? As we're going to ride on board with the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso. There is the DRS line. We're not catching too much just now, but then I'm going to turn on the battery and we storm down the inside. Nice and easy. Keep it tight to the apex. We don't want Alonso getting a switch back at all. And then we take the lead as we come out into the final corner of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. From pole position to first position and the win.
Just want to say thanks to all the haters. This one's for you.
And if you want to win just like me, you can hit the subscribe button below and be notified whenever I upload a new F1 24 My Team Career Mode video. I can't say any of those words, by the way, without saying the whole thing.
And with that, another year of Formula One draws to a close and a new World Drivers' Champion is declared. Another entry added to that prestigious list of the sport's most incredible drivers. And Las Vegas has its winner. And what a special victory that was, taking the checkered flag under the neon lights of Nevada.
They led from lights out to the flag at the end, and their race victory was never in doubt, was it? Brilliant stuff by them.
I mean, it was a sort of lucky, sort of not lucky race win. We did well to make that mistake.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race. Indeed.
And another World Championship for Max Verstappen. Is that going to be foreshadowing for the next race of the actual real-life Formula One season? Let me know in the comments. But that's it. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like. Again, if you're new around here and you want to see more of these, go back. There's 21 other rounds that you haven't seen yet, potentially. And, yeah, if you want to subscribe just to stay up to date, then there's a big button just below for you.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Indeed, we will. We'll see you for the next one, which obviously is going to come out next week. But here we go. For the finishing order, we started on pole, finished in first. Fernando Alonso came in second, followed by Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen in fourth, clutching the championship of this 2024 F1 season. Lewis Hamilton followed him in fifth, then Carlos Sainz, then Perez, Ocon, Norris, Gasly, Russell, Zhou Guanyu, Bottas, Sargent, Albon, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo, Pourchaire, Tsunoda, Piastri and Stroll. Logan Sargent doing pretty well in P14 there, which is actually very good for us and very good for him as well. I'm very happy for him. In the driver standings, obviously Verstappen takes the win of the Drivers' Championship. Norris in second there. Again, is it foreshadowing? Is it not? We're in P9 actually now, as we just pass Sergio Perez actually on countback with our win from today and previous wins as well. George Russell, our next target, but I'm not really having super high hopes that we'll win every time. We've probably got a few more mechanical failures in us. In the Constructors, Ferrari on top, Red Bull following closely behind with 20 points in between, and we're happily in P6. No getting rid of us from there. Highlights for you now, and yeah, as I was saying before, is this race and the results and the Drivers' Championship going to Verstappen, is that foreshadowing for the race that's going to happen in a couple of weeks' time? We're going to find out. Imagine if I could use my Formula 1 My Team Career Mode series as a predictor and then place bets on the winners and then become a millionaire. That would be amazing. We could all become millionaires. We just got to keep watching. And if you want to keep watching, subscribe. If you don't, I don't know what you're doing here, to be honest. Charles Leclerc hit that wall hard on the first lap, actually. But, yeah. Great race. I enjoyed it. Not too fighty, but also not boring, which is what we want, really. But that's really it from me. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, and I'll see you all next week for round 23 in Qatar.